Welcome to the Relationship Revivalist podcast. This is John, and I am here with my amazing and gorgeous wife, Jess.
Hey, John.
Hey.
I'm laughing because I thought you might be pausing when you said,
Well, I mean...
But you didn't.
No, I had to do the introduction the way I do it all the time because that's what they've grown to expect. So, knowing that, I think we're going to start talking about some new stuff here. And this is exciting because we get to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I've gone through in my life that I get to tell you about it. And this is good. This is something, as I was going through life, I was like, you know what? This is really tough for me to swallow or to really fathom that people want to talk about themselves. And, well, I thought that way because I hardly ever talked about myself. I was always, involved in other people's lives, and I was let other people do the talking, and I never really talked about myself. And this whole podcast has really helped me grow and open up and start talking about the struggles, start talking about where I came from and where I am now. And, hopefully this is going to make an impact on you, the listener, to realize, hey, it's not the end of the world, and it's not the gloom and the doom. This is what we call life. And Jesus said that we will always have struggle or some form of a negative, or people will come after you because of our love for Jesus. And you're looking at me like, where are you going with this? So I'm going to just say, we have struggles. It makes us a better person in the long run. And that's where we're coming from here. We're going to talk to you about a subject matter that's really gone directly to my heart, and something I am looking forward to talking to you about. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Jess and let her talk a little bit here.
Thanks, John. So, what John was saying is completely true for me too. I was that shy, I looked shy, that quiet little girl who was observing all the time, and just always quiet, and like adults would say, so, tell me about what you're into lately, what you're doing, and I would forget right then. I felt like I was kind of put on the spot, but, sometimes when you're just, going through life and doing your things and busy and whatever else, it's hard to remember, what did I do? And then when you start thinking about it, it's like, wow, it was a lot. And, just like John, I found it really difficult to talk about myself, to talk myself up. I'd rather have other people do it instead, just like him. And so, the podcast has really helped us a lot,
Yeah, go back and listen to episode number 1 and then come back to this. You're going to see a big difference in how we've grown, and to really be one of those. I think we've grown enough to where we're engaging. We are telling stories more so. And I think because both Jess and I have really struggled with being perfect and wanting everything to look like perfectionism was one of those things that we just like, okay, it's either perfect or it's not going out at all. And so we've really been open up to having our stuff out there and not being perfect and being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm, yep. And that it's tough, right? But it's really a good exercise.
It really is.
To make yourself vulnerable. And it also shows a lot of strength, I think. People who are able to show themselves as vulnerable to others are strong people. And but today, what we want to talk about is making new memories. And this is something that I've noticed John do throughout our relationship so far because, like the two of us, we may have gone to certain places on our own, but not together when we were, first going out, first married. And I really liked that John made a point to go to places that, and I'm really proud of you for this too, because, a little bit of background about John. His previous wife passed away from cancer, and he went through a really tough time emotionally, as any loving husband would, losing a part of himself, his person. And so I just thought it was so amazing, and I still think it's amazing when he makes a point, or has made a point to maybe take me to a place that he had been to with his previous wife to make a new memory. And we want to talk about that. It's important to make those new memories. And so whether you're in a new relationship or whether you might be in the same relationship, but you're ready to make a new commitment, so that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of delve into a little bit of what I've done, where I came from. Jess mentioned that, my second wife, she passed away from breast cancer, and ended up in a physical state that was not pleasant to look at because of the disease. And so it really helped me grow as a person, because situations made it so that I could only do one thing. And through a good friend of mine, he made it very plain and very clear to me that this is the one thing that you need to do, and you need to do it at the best of your ability. And I took that advice and I ran with it. That advice was, because I couldn't do anything else, because of extenuating circumstances, all I could do was support her the best that I knew how to. And that's what I did. So as I was supporting her, I learned some things about myself. I learned that I was not invincible like I used to think, like a lot of young people think, when they're in their late teens and early 20s, they think, oh, life is so, it's one of those things that I can do anything I want. And yes, to a huge degree, yes, you can do anything that you want. I don't ever want to see myself having a mindset of lack, or, not being able to do something because my mind.
Maybe you're saying, the mindset is I can do anything I want without any what's the word I'm looking
circumstances.
for? Without any consequences.
Consequences, yes. And so that said, I learned that I was, human. And, as we're recording this, there is a very high profile person that passed away in a helicopter accident. You might know him as Kobe Bryant. And the first thing that popped in my mind was, wow, he's a well-known figure in everything. As a legend in basketball. But aside from that, I went right to how the wife felt. Because I've been there. I've lost a partner in life, and not only has she lost a partner in life, she lost a child as well. And I just could not fathom that. Long story short, I went through and I lost my wife. I healed from that, and I met Jess, and now we're doing amazing. And only God could have put us together and known that we're going to last. And so what I started doing, I started to make new memories, places that I went with my last wife that were significant. I started going to with Jess because I wanted new memories with Jess. The one that I'm with now, living with now, I wanted to have memories with her and not have to think, well, yeah, that place I went to, but it was with someone who has passed on. And that can be emotional. That can be an emotional string that can cause you to, get depressed. You can go into different emotions because of that. So I was very intentional upon, like for instance, I would always go to San Diego, and we'd have fun. So what did I do? When the last time we were in Anaheim, we rented a car, and we literally drove from Anaheim down to San Diego. And that took care of two birds in one stone, because there was a time where we drove to San Diego. And so I got to kill that one, or not kill that, but replace that one with a memory with Jess. And so San Diego was a big, big part of all that. And so there's other things that I would go to. Like there's some restaurants that we would go to that I said, well, Jess, let's go to this the restaurant, so I can have a memory with you being there. And it was not something we was like, okay, we got to do this in 1 week. We don't have any other time. This is something that, it comes in as you live your life. You're like, I have an opportunity now to go and make a new memory, and not to kill the memory of my previous wife, but to have a memory that is fresh in my mind with Jess there as well. Now, there's so many of them that
for example, we both love going to the coast. And so there's a certain coast that we love to go to. And there was a restaurant that I had never been to, because John had more experience going to that particular beach. And so he said, why don't we go here? This is a place where I went to with my previous wife, but I'd really like to make this a new memory with you. And I was very happy and honored to be able to do that with John. And so it's not, not creepy for me or anything like that. I understand that is a real, also a form of healing on your journey and path, for healing emotions, to be able to make those new memories. And like John said, it's just like, as we think about it, as it comes up, as it makes sense, but also notice we didn't just go there. He pointed it out that we're making a new memory. And so I think it's important for our minds, like, we're going to make a new memory right now. And then you enjoy the time. But this has been so helpful, I think, in John's path to healing, because to be able to go to that same place with a new person and not be depressed, not get into a funk, I think that'd be really easy and tempting to do. And I just really applaud you, John, for doing that. And also, I'm so proud of you for wanting to make those new memories, because I think if you let yourself go to a place where, like, oh, I can't go there because I went there with so-and-so, and I can't go there, and I can't go there, pretty soon you're really boxing yourself in, especially if it's in the same areas, like we're close to where you live, or places you like to go to still, that's close to you. And any time that we, have a thing like, oh, I can't think about that, or I can't do that, or I can't, we're really boxing ourselves in.
Yeah, and even like the whole mindset of can't, negative is not a good thing. So you want to start looking at things in a different light, a new light. And, in Revelation 12:21-5, it's basically saying that God makes all things new. Not just certain things, not things that, oh, you experienced it with this person and you can't do that anymore. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. No, not at all.
And, the way, God doesn't, erase our memories, thankfully. He doesn't erase the memory of, John and his previous wife at all. That was a sacred relationship in God's eyes as well. But the way that God set things up, he makes all things new, he always wants us to keep going forward. And he always has, like, the best is yet to come. He always has a bright future in mind for us. And so when we trust his leading, and we trust his path for our lives, we can have faith and know full well that the best is truly yet to come. You may have gone through some hard times. You might be going through some hard times right now. But remember, God is right there with you, leading you into the best path for your life. So when you're on his path, that's the best path. And it might, you might feel like, well, I'm really hurting right now. The relationship I'm in, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what we're going to do. Give that to God, because if you are on his path and you profess faith in God, then you can give that to God and he can work that out for you.
And one thing to remember here is you just said to yourself, I'm really hurting right now. But look at the other side. What exactly is happening? Are you hurting and are you okay? Are you okay in this very moment? Hold on to that thought and say, yes, I am okay in this very moment, and nothing in the entire universe can hurt me because I am okay right now in this very present moment. And in my healing, I was always thinking, wow, as long as I'm thinking about helping others, as long as I'm thinking I am safe, I am happy. Well, maybe I'm not happy. Maybe I'm struggling. But I'm thinking about others, and I know that in this very present moment, I am okay, and God is covered me with his wing. That there is something you can hold on to, and you can make a history about that, and you can say, well, God has always protected me. God's never let me slip, fall, or fail. Isaiah 55:5, I think, isn't it? Yeah, we'll look it up later. I'll put it in the notes. But it is a Bible verse. He will never let you slip, fall, or fail. And so, as I was going through my healing from grief and loss, I had to come to and learn the things that I needed to change in my life, things that I wanted to make new memories with Jess. I wanted to heal emotionally so I could live my life to the best possible life experience that I knew how to. Like, God would give that to me. I knew it in my heart, and I just had to come up to his level. I don't need to be sad. I need to help other people. That's what God would do. And so because I'm made after his image, I need to emulate that and help other people.
There's definitely a time for grieving and a time for letting yourself feel those sad emotions and in a healthy way, so you can heal. And, do we ever truly forget about the person we lost? No, we don't forget about them. We still love them. They're still close to us in our hearts. But should we allow those really deep, sad emotions lead us into depression? No, that's not healthy. And so this is one piece to the puzzle of healing, making new memories. And we just wanted to share that with you today.
Yeah, so, there's a lot on the horizon as far as the relationship revivalists are concerned. We love sharing our life with you and the things that we've gone through. And, hopefully we're making a difference in your life as well. What we would love for you to do is go to our website, download our free PDF. This is something that one of the first things we actually did, and we still believe this is making difference in people's lives. We've had some comments, we've had some reviews of this, and go to therelationshiprevivalists.com/7 secrets. We're keeping this thing available because we know it will make a big difference in your life. If you just download it, read it. It's a short read, but it's got some incredibly awesome packed strategies and tips about how to have an amazing relationship that is exuding that explosive love that we talk about. So that is it for today, this week. We look forward to talking to you the next time on this podcast, and have a wonderful and amazing day.
See you later.